Hi, this is Allie from the Perception Trainers, author of The Perception Diet, and today I want to do a little kind of confessional video, I guess. And as you can see in the title is I'm Not Perfect. And I feel like this type of video is really, really important for anyone who's speaking to an audience to make. And so, of course, if I think that other people should do it, obviously I should do it too. So the reason that I want to make this video, the number one reason why I want to make this video, is because I want you to know that my biggest goal in life is not for you to listen to me. It's not for you to think that I have things figured out and you should do what I am doing, but rather I want to give you tools for you to figure out what's right for you. Okay? So like when I made my what I ate in a day video and I didn't actually show you what I ate in a day, that's not just because I think people with eating disorders are going to get ideas from what I eat. That's because I don't think anyone should ever follow what anyone else does. I think that everyone has the ability to figure out for themselves, not having to have an example from someone else, to figure out for themselves what works for their body and what they need to do. And that you have the ability to figure out if something feels bad inside your body, or if something is making your emotions go weird, or if something's triggering for you, or whatever. And it's not anyone else's job to show you what they're doing so that you can model it after them. It's your job to figure out what is right for you. So this is why I want to make this video, to kind of like clear up any thoughts that maybe I have everything figured out, or I know what I'm doing in life, or whatever. So I want to start this video by saying, like, if you don't know my history at all, I used to have anorexia. I used to have a pretty severe eating disorder. And I have come a hugely, hugely long way, right? And I don't mean that as a badge of pride. I mean that as, like, I can enjoy my life now in a way that I never could before when I was dealing with my full-blown eating disorder. However, that does not mean that I never have anorexic thoughts. That does not mean that I never look at my body and don't like what I see. That doesn't mean that I'm never tempted to weigh myself, or that I'm never tempted to get validation outside of, like, how I look, or if I'm fat, or if I'm skinny, or blah, blah, blah. That doesn't mean that sometimes I don't even ask those questions, right? This doesn't mean that I'm, like, perfect now and have no anorexic stuff going on, right? And the reason that I want to confess this to you is not to make you feel like if you're struggling with something, or if you're going through something right now, that, like, there's no hope of ever being fully recovered, or there's no hope of ever fully getting rid of all of your stuff, or there's no hope of ever being fully healed, because I don't believe that that's what this is. What I want you to understand is that I know now. So even though I still have some of those tendencies that pop up every once in a while, especially when I'm stressed, or especially when life is a little crazy, because like I say, even this, like, you know, my life isn't some perfect bubble where nothing ever happens to me, right? Like, I still have family issues. I still have things that happen, like, life still happens to me, and I still get stressed, and I still get sad, and I still get overwhelmed. And in those times, I know that, my old behaviors can be triggered, and my old thought patterns and my old behavior patterns can be triggered. And the reason why I'm saying this is because it's not because I'm not recovered, and it's not because I'm not actually better, and it's not because I'm preaching something that I'm not actually practicing. It's because I'm practicing what I'm preaching that I feel confident in saying this stuff to you. It's that I understand now that, all my anorexic stuff and all of my maybe self-sabotaging behaviors, and all of my stuff that I used to do, they were a coping mechanism for me. When I didn't know how to express myself emotionally, when I didn't know how to process what I was going through, when I didn't feel like I had power in my life. And so sometimes I still have the inclination to go towards those coping mechanisms And that does not mean that I'm failing, right? So now I'm at this point where I'm able to be aware enough that it's like, okay, I'm sensing like I want to restrict my calories, or I want to play with my diet in some way, or I want to weigh myself, or I'm really feeling like really obsessed with my body. What's actually going on, right? And it's just a clue for me to click in and say, okay, these habits are popping up, these old behavior patterns are surfacing. And I know that that means that there's something going on with me emotionally, there's something going on with me spiritually that I'm not facing, or that I'm not really truly dealing with. So the way that I like to say it is that, like, those old anorexic tendencies, those things that I used to do, was like putting sugar in the gas tank of my car. It doesn't make me a bad person to do those things, right? It doesn't make me a bad person to put sugar in the gas tank. It's just that, putting sugar in the gas tank isn't actually fulfilling the need of the car. The car needs gas, right? So this is exactly what my anorexic stuff was. It was my way of coping with all the stuff that was going on in my life when I didn't have a healthier way of coping with it. And now I do. Now I have tools. So when those old thought and behavior patterns crop up, I know to use my new tools. And it's just like it's like a warning flag that it's like, okay, I'm having these thoughts, I'm having these urges. Where am I not taking care of myself? Where am I not expressing myself? Where am I not, really meeting the need that I have? Where am I not recognizing the need that I have, and how can I meet it in a healthy way? So this is kind of what I want to say to you, is that this spiritual journey and healing and recovery and all of these things, it's not about getting to this perfect place. And maybe somewhere in the future I will get to this place where I never even default to the old stuff anymore because I'm so practiced in the new stuff. And maybe that will happen, and maybe that won't. But the thing is that I don't beat myself up anymore if I have a bad day, if I have a bad body day, if I have a bad eating day. It's to understand that it's like, okay, I'm just having a need, I'm just having an emotional reaction, I'm having an emotional response, that isn't getting met properly. And at any point during that, I can just click out of it and go to something that's healthy. And again, like I say, I no longer am like, oh no, am I sick again? Or oh no, maybe I'm not actually recovered. Or oh no, maybe I'm totally a fake and I'm like telling people I'm recovered when I'm not, and blah blah blah. Because like I used to have those thoughts all the time, but now it's just kind of like, I'm still human. And those old mechanisms are still the default sometimes when life gets crazy, and that's okay. Because like I say, I have new tools for dealing with it now. And so I don't want anyone watching my videos to think that I'm perfect and I have this all figured out and that I never have moments of weakness, because I do, right? And even, if we're going to be totally honest, like, I still have days where I am really hurt by criticism. I still have days where I judge people and I judge myself. I still have days where I just want to stay in bed and I don't want to deal with anybody. And I get overwhelmed by my life. And the thing is that all of that stuff is okay. I'm not ashamed of that, because I'm a human, and I'm still a human, and I'm still learning, and I'm still growing. And when I get into a spiral of criticizing people, the thing is, at the end of the day, the only person that hurts is me, right? And so for me to continue on down that path, or to continue on down thinking those thoughts, really just makes me feel worse and worse and worse. And I can recognize that now. And so I can, like I say, like, kind of stomp myself out of it. I can just choose to not go down that path anymore. But just because I went down that path does not make me any less awesome. And this is what I want. I'm saying this stuff because I want you to feel the same way about yourself. That it's not about achieving this state of perfection where you're totally healed and you have no self-destructive tendencies ever again, or you never judge someone ever again, or you get to this state of like, angels are singing and you are just glowing with light, because maybe that will happen or maybe it won't. But at the end of the day, you're still on this life path. You're still learning, you're still growing. And like, I don't want to sit here and say that I'm done, that I'm complete, that I will never learn or grow or change or improve or get better in any way, because I'm young, and I hope that that's not the case. And I honestly hope that I'm learning and growing and changing and becoming more and expanding until the moment that I leave my body, right? So to sit here and be upset about maybe some of the things that aren't perfect in my life right now, it's like, it's a waste of time, right? It's that I understand that I'm on a journey and that there is no perfect, and that I can be okay with where I'm at right now, knowing that I'm still going to expand from here, right? So it's not about saying I can't be okay with myself right now because I'm not perfect, because then you'll never be okay with yourself, right? And it's not about saying I'm perfect, so I'm never going to change. It's because then you're stuck, and then that's kind of like the antithesis to what this life is all about, right? We're here to expand. So it's kind of a balance of those two things, is to say that, like, I'm okay with where I'm at, I'm okay with who I am, and I'm okay with the fact that I'm going to learn and grow and change and become better. And, you know, where I was 2 years ago is really not where I am today, but there was nothing wrong with me 2 years ago, right? I was still a good person, and I'm still a good person, and in 2 years I'll be a good person. And I'm not perfect, and I have down days, and I have tough stuff, and I'm totally okay with that, because I love myself. And I think that that's really the bottom line. And that's what I want to say kind of too about what self-love really is. It's not about eradicating all these things from your life that you don't like about yourself. It's not about eradicating all your unsavory characteristics. It's about learning to be okay with those things. It's about learning to embrace and accept them and bring them into the light and call them into the light and say, okay, this is the reality. I have these thoughts. What's really going on here? Can I be honest with myself? And when you're honest with yourself about where you're at, that's when you can actually do something about where you're at, right? When you're just sitting there beating yourself up about where you're at, you can't do anything about that. And so that's why I wanted to say to you that it's like, I'm not perfect, and I don't have it all figured out, and all I want you to take from any one of my videos is that you have the answer for you. You have everything you need in order to become the person that you want to be. And you have everything that you need in order to do what you want to do here. And all I'm doing is encouraging you to think about things, to question things, to go inside, to question, to question, to question, to think, and to go inside, Because at the end of the day, that's all I've done, right? I've just gone inside. And I've gotten to the place where I'm at right now because I just went inside. And I listened to some teachers and I got some help, but in the end of the day, I still had to do it myself. And so it's not about believing that someone outside of you is perfect and they have the answers, and as long as you do what they're doing and listen to them and hoping that they're actually perfect, because if they're not, it's going to like shatter your world. It's to say no one's perfect, no one's got it all figured out, and that's a good thing, because we're all growing and we're all expanding and everything's different for everybody, okay? So that's my take on that. I'm not perfect, and I'm totally okay with that, and I hope that you can be okay with the fact that you're not perfect, but that you are perfect. You're perfect in your imperfection, and you're going to keep growing, and you're going to keep expanding, and that's perfect. So let me know what you think of this. If you want kind of more videos like this that are kind of more just ramblings, that's awesome. Like, let me know if you want that. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below. Video requests, I love hearing from you. Find me on Facebook at Perception Trainers, on Instagram at Urban Fruit Bat, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.